Television Network presents from Pocono, Pennsylvania, the Miller High Life 500 NASCAR Winston Cup Grand National Stock Car Race.
The Miller High Life 500 is being brought to you by Champion Copper Plus, the spark plug with an extra margin of performance, and by Goodyear Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. And by Exxon, quality you can count on. Exxon. And by Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better than Mr. Goodwrench. No one.
Welcome to the garage area at Pocono International Raceway in Pennsylvania as we prepare for the start of the Miller High Life 500. I'm Mike Joy, and I'm with a man who will make his 999th career NASCAR start this afternoon. And Richard Petty, that number sounds like an awful long time.
It's a good sounding number, but it took a long time to get there, that's for sure.
Well, 200 victories in that span of time, and nobody else in NASCAR racing has won but half as many, is an enviable record. But that's in the past, and what about 1986?
Well, you know, we're just trying to get our team together, back together at Petty Enterprises. They'll come on board this year, and we're just waiting for everything to really start happening. We think we've got the people and the organization, and so far it's just not gelled like, say, as quick as what we think it should have. But we're very optimistic. We feel like this is going to be the race. If we don't get it this time, we'll get it next week. So as long as the boys feel like that, we're going to wind up getting some.
Well, the SCP Pontiac is known for charging to the front on the starts here, and this racetrack is known for being very, very competitive. But with 3 different corners and 3 different length straightaways and 3 different degrees of banking, what part of this racetrack do you set up for?
Well, I don't know, really. I'll tell you, it's been 4 or 5 races since I won a race up here, so I must not be setting up for the right deal. But really, you just sort of try to get a happy medium for all the corners. If you set up perfect for one corner, then you miss 2 of them. So you have to sort of go around the racetrack and get something that works fairly decent in all 3 corners, and not necessarily that you get through better than anybody through one particular corner. You just get better through 3 of them, and that's what it takes.
Well, Richard hasn't won here in a couple of years, but the fellow who won both Winston Cup races at Pocono in 1985 is standing with Jerry Punch.
I'm with a fellow who set a NASCAR record last year with 11 wins. 2 of the wins came here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. That's Bill Elliott. Bill, the wins didn't come easy last year here at Pocono. You didn't lead that many laps, but when the checkered flag fell, you were the fellow waving at the crowd.
Well, like I said last year, I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. And, the thing of it is, I made some right moves there at the end of the race, and I ended up coming across there at the end first. And that's the main thing, is just deciding what everybody's going to do. I feel like if you can stay close all day long here, you got a good a chance as anybody winning the race.
A spectacular year last year for you, 11 wins and 11 poles, but it's been a frustrating season thus far in 86. But you've been so close to getting that first win.
Well, we've had a lot of things go wrong. Ernie's been sick. I think that's been some of it. And, the competition has definitely gotten a lot better. We've struggled along. We've had our problems. We've run good a lot of places. And in a lot of places, we've just been in a situation that we've just run out of luck.
How about today? How does it look for you?
Well, I know I got my work cut out for me. I started 11th, and I'm sure it's going to be a long day. But like I said, if you can stay there, stay close, run all day long, and be there at the end, I got a good a chance as anybody win this race.
Well, Bill Elliott cautiously optimistic about his run today. Let's go to the editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine, Dick Berggren, standing by with our pole sitter, Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine has finished 2 races in 1986 without car trouble, and in both cases, he won the race. Jeff, what can we expect today?
No car trouble, and that means a victory. We really feel like the Exxon Levi Garrett car is ready to win again. It won at Dover, the same car, Alexis we call it. And I think it's ready today. The engine's running good, Dick. The crew's ready. They're pumped up. I'm pumped up. I'm ready. Just need to get racing.
The sky is threatening, and it looks like rain. What will your strategy be?
Well, we need to be near the front, and especially towards that halfway point in case the weather does break on us and rain comes and they call the race early. We're hoping it goes the distance. We want these people that came here today to see a 500-mile race. That's what they're here for. So we're hoping it stays clear like it is right now. This Air Force guy's shaking up the clouds a little bit. He's putting on a heck of a show up there. I hope we can do that good down here on the track.
You're on the pole with a new track record. Is the car vastly superior to anybody else, or who are you most worried about?
Oh, boy, let me look here. There's about 10 or 15 cars I'm pretty worried about. We're not superior than anyone here. A lot of good cars. Benny Parsons, outside pole. Tim Richmond's right behind me. Just so many good cars. Why we've been getting poles, I don't know. Don't have an answer for that. I guess it's we're just lucky right till now getting pole positions, but we do work pretty hard at it. I like to qualify. I like to be up front. My crew likes me to be up front. So we put a big effort into qualifying, but when the race starts, everyone's pretty equal back through here.
You say 10 cars you're worried about. That suggests a very competitive event.
Well, it's probably more than 10, and it will be competitive. They're going to see a good show here.
The U.S. Air Force have a big part in the pre-race ceremonies here at Pocono as this F-15 fighter puts on what has already been a 5-minute display. Right now, you see it traveling at about 450 miles an hour. Our stock cars won't be that fast, but we hope they'll be that agile in the 500 this afternoon. Pocono, Pennsylvania is unique. Each corner has a different radius and a different banking. Each straightaway is of a different length. The track requires a tremendous amount of compromise in the setup of the car and in the driving style. But it's a very competitive racetrack. Over the last several years, there have been more lead changes at Pocono than any other track on the Winston Cup circuit. But even so, Jerry Punch, the fellow who has led the most laps here is not always the guy in victory lane.
That's the case last year, Mike. You know, Jeff Bodine led over 150 laps in the first race last year, only to be foiled by a series of caution flags late in the race. Neil Bonnet led most of the laps in the second race, the July event. He didn't win. He came home second. So it doesn't always mean you're going to win if you go out and lead most of the laps here at Pocono.
Well, Jerry will be up in the booth calling the action with me today because my regular color commentator, Benny Parsons, has a slightly different role this afternoon. Dick Berggren is with him.
Well, ordinarily, Benny Parsons is one of our color people on the SETN broadcast, but today you've got a real job, don't you?
Different switch today. I'm trying to make a living today, Dick. You know, and this is great. Being on the front row at Pocono, the car has been good all week, and I just hope we can continue on for the next 500 miles.
Now, you've won at Pocono, so you know how to do it. What are your chances today, Benny?
Well, I don't really know because we didn't get a lot of time with our race engine in the car. We only had one lap, one serious hard lap with a race engine, and I really don't know how we are. And I don't know if the chassis is the way we'd want it because of the weather conditions we've had here this weekend. So I'm on the front row, and that's about all I can tell you right now. We're kind of in the dark.
Well, the SETN team is on your side and hoping for a good finish today.
I hope so. Hey, guys, make it good.
As the Air Force fighter plane completes its exhibition and the field is assembled down on the starting grid for this 500-mile test, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for today's Miller High Life 500. On the pole, new track record for Jeff Bodine of Chemung, New York. His Levi Garrett Chevrolet turned the track at 153.652 miles per hour. 7 drivers broke the track record in qualifying. On the outside pole, you've just heard from Benny Parsons. His Copenhagen Oldsmobile has the second spot. He turned the track just 0.2 of a second slower than Bodine's pole-winning run.
Inside row 2, Tim Richmond in a Chevrolet, 152.957 miles per hour. The young driver in the car number 25. Flanking Richmond on row 2 will be Harry Gant from Taylorsville, North Carolina. Gant Chevy at 152.877 will start fourth.
The driver who led the most laps here last July, Neil Bonnet from Bessemer, Alabama, in Junior Johnson's Budweiser Kentucky Fried Chicken Chevrolet, is inside of row number 3 at 152.7. And Terry Labonte, the former Winston Cup champion from Corpus Christi, Texas, has his Piedmont Airlines A&W Trucking Oldsmobile outside of row number 3.
Rusty Wallace, fresh from his first win of the year in Bristol, Tennessee, and the number 27 will start inside row 4 in 7th spot. In 8th spot, the winningest driver of the season thus far. 3 wins for Dale Earnhardt in the Chevrolet, the Wrangler Goodrich Chevrolet, qualifying at 152.382 miles per hour.
The defending Winston Cup champion, Darrell Waltrip from Franklin, Tennessee, teammate to Neil Bonnet, has his Budweiser Kentucky Fried Chicken Chevrolet starting in the 9th position. And rounding out the top 10, the tough man from Timminsville, South Carolina, Cale Yarborough, driving the Rainier Lundy Racing Hardee's Ford Thunderbird, the first Ford in an otherwise all-GM top 10. Bill Elliott's Coors Ford Thunderbird, defending champion of this race, has the 11th spot next to Bobby Allison's Miller Buick. In the 7th row, the STP Pontiac of Richard Petty and the Motorcraft Ford of Ricky Rudd.
Row 8, Morgan Shepherd out of Conover, North Carolina, in the car number 47, flanked by Ron Bouchard in the Mike Curve number 98. Then comes Phil Parsons at Upland, California's Joe Rutland.
Buddy Baker in the Crisco Olds has the 10th row with Randy LaJoy in the Snellman Construction Chevrolet. Then it's Tommy Ellis, Friedlander Mortgage Chevrolet, and Dave Marcus in the Helen Race Special.
Row 12, Kenny Schrader, champion spark plug rookie of the year in the car number 90. Jody Ridley, a former winner on the circuit. Kyle Petty looking for his second win of the year. And Poncho Carter.
Back in row 14, Buddy Arrington. In a Ford Thunderbird, Mike Waltrip's Pontiac. Rookie Chet Phillips Ford and D.K. Ulrich Chevrolet.
Row 16, J.D. McDuffie, independent driver in the number 70. Eddie Beerswell, number 64. Jimmy Means, independent from North Carolina, Forest City. And Bobby Gerhardt in the number 85.
Modified driver Jerry Cranmer in the Hilton Racing Chevrolet. Another modified star, Jack Ely. Bobby Hillen Jr. in the Miller Buick, and Trevor Boys.
Row 20 has Jonathan Edwards in the number 92. And independent Rick Newsom from Lake Wylie, South Carolina.
The field is on the pace lap. We'll be right back for the start of the Miller High Life